So a few days ago, there's a hotfix released for Marauders, and I don't usually make videos for hotfix patches because usually there's not a whole lot there. But for this one, there's quite a few fixes and balance changes that I wanted to go through. So I wanted to talk about the patch notes real quick as fast as I can. As always, there'll be a link in the description down below if you want to go and read the entirety of the patch notes for yourselves. But without further ado, let's jump straight into it. So known issues. So right now the flare gun doesn't deal damage to players, but still does to NPCs. That is under investigation. And hot swapping of helmets, armor, and weapons has been temporarily disabled due to its instability. So I would imagine that's like hot swapping helmets from your bag to your character. I haven't really done any of that. But yeah, that is under investigation. New. Trace weapon logic and network optimizations on all weapons except for grenades, mines, and grenade launcher. This includes server correction to greatly reduce any hit registration issues. So following the Marauders United Allies update, I saw a lot of people complaining about what seemed like hit reg issues. So hopefully this might correct whatever issues that people were having when they were getting into firefights with players. Moving on to the balancing, then there's quite a little bit of stuff here, especially for a hotfix. So the PPSH damage was reduced from 24 to 23, and recoil increased by 15%. So the PPSH when the United Allies dropped was pretty powerful. Now that has been addressed a little bit. However, all SMGs now have a max hip firing spread that does not increase over time / per shot, making the spread more reliable / tighter. All SMGs have had their hip firing spread reduced by 15%, so that is a massive buff to SMGs, especially when you're hip firing. So yeah, if you are playing close quarters, chances are you might want to slap on an SMG. All rifles have had their max hip firing spread reduced by 20%. However, they still have an increasing spread over time / per shot. The Mosin damage reduced from 44 to 42 in line with the Johnson. The Star Interceptor is now 5% faster in line with the Marauder Interceptor. The Flamethrower damage and fire rate increased by 30%, might actually make this weapon viable. Player collision when crouching is now more accurate, preventing head clipping. The amount of N16 rifles that spawn on UA Marines have been reduced by 50%, which is great. Respawn timers for UA Marines have been increased, so a lot less throughout the colony cruiser. You could just farm that place. It was super easy, so now a little bit less so. Rare loot pool has been reduced by 40%. Vault loot pool max spawn is now 2 items instead of 1, displayed by a red crate. Navy Outpost has had 2 rare loot containers removed, but all other maps have had the amount of rare containers / rare spawns increased. Hidden Stash loot pool max spawn item amount has decreased from 3 to 2, so this means there should technically be less items in the hidden stashes. VoIP hearing others is now on by default, so that is great, but this will only affect new accounts, and when you reset your audio settings to default, can still be disabled via the audio options menu. So that's great. Hopefully we're going to get more interactions with VoIP in-game because by default it was off when they released the update and not a lot of players knew about it. So with it being on by default, at least now, if they want to turn it off, they have the option, but now you will be able to get those interactions hopefully more frequently. First prestige gives 3 prestige points. Every prestige after that will provide 2 prestige points as opposed to the chart that they had before, which was like 3, 2, 2, then 1 for a while, and then 3, 2, whatever. It's just a static 2 prestige points per prestige. For the UI, the Sherman rig now has centered pockets. The crew lock state is now consistent and does not flip back to open when you return from a hatch. Crew searching / joining is now more sturdy with pop-ups and warning to inform the players what's happening. When you try to join a crew that requires a password, we set the focus to the password input so you can start typing straight away without having to click on it. Suspended screen UI now shows date more clearly as UK format. New pop-up if you lose connection to Steam or the internet while playing. New pop-up after unlocking a cosmetic from Twitch drop to say you can now access it via the appearance menu. A new warning pop-up for when you try to unlock a cosmetic from a Twitch drop that you have already unlocked before. Options miscellaneous menu now permanently has a connect to Twitch account button. And now when collecting a ship, it will stop you if the hangar is full, so that way you don't have to like get rid of one of your ships. It'll just say you just won't be able to claim that ship. Animation tweaked the unarmed tactical walk animation speed to make feet contact timing better. Tweak the holding weapon tactical walk animation speed to make feet contact timing better. Sound, there's now a small positive sound when you successfully join a crew. Optimizations. Network optimizations for players, network optimizations for AI, network optimizations for unique actors, network optimizations for lootables, and network optimizations for contract interaction areas. As for localizations, they updated a bunch of localizations for German, Spanish, French, Italian, Korean, Portuguese, Russian, Chinese simplified, Chinese traditional, and they removed some strings that didn't need to be localized. And finally, but certainly not least, fixes. There's various exploit fixes, and they never go over what those exploit fixes are, but I would imagine that's part of it, so players don't really know if they can still do it or not. Fixes for inventory issues, fixes for spinning hands. Sometimes when you come off of the periscopes, that happened a lot, and it also happened when you got off of the rocket turret or the turret for the ship. You can no longer buy the rocket turret from the pirate trader. They had a fix for remain in voice pack UI. There was a spelling error. Red Baron strike frigate now targets the player's ship and pods again, so do be afraid. Red Baron strike frigate now has accurate collision for projectiles. Fixed a bug with main menu stats KD not filling in correctly if you have 0 deaths. Adjusted the entry point on the colony cruiser exterior for frigates entering the ship to be more central to help stop clipping. Fixed a bug which would cause you to get the incorrect number of prestige points at level 2 and not give prestige points at level 3. Light/default interceptor now shows the correct speed in the hangar. Fixed a bug which stopped tactical walking from having a reduced volume. Contract interactable areas are no longer block projectiles. Fixed miscellaneous server log errors, miscellaneous backlog errors. The player's camera now has default exposure settings to prevent a bright pop when loading/breaching into raids, and the flare no longer spawns multiple smokes, causing large performance issues. So that was a pretty big hotfix, and that was pretty quick after such a massive update. So just a lot of things being worked on and fixed. They are hard at work over at Small Impact Games, and hopefully we get to see more massive updates in the coming future. But anyways, that'll do it for today's video. Hit the like button if you enjoyed the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and as always, thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate it. I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a good one.